and responsible behavior. They deny victims reasonable compensation, and they wrongly put a decision that should be made by judges and juries in the hands of the legislature. The current law is outdated, unfair. I ask for a favorable report on House Bill 862. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Natalie asked me to go next. Good afternoon, Chairman Clippinger and members of the committee. On a sunny afternoon almost 5 years ago, a man with a violent criminal history walked into the Annapolis Capitol. He had spent years terrorizing the staff. He had shown up at the old building on Capitol Drive, but it was too secure for him to get in. When his criminal record had been expunged, the Capitol reported on the ruling, and the panicked victim, who knew that this meant he could finally get a permit to have a gun. And he did. During that time, the paper had moved from that secure building, the one that carefully protected their printing presses, to another building that didn't protect its people. The staff had asked local police about the threats, who remembered saying that the guard who left should be replaced immediately. But security cameras continued to record while no one watched. When this dangerous man cased the building, he learned that not only was the guard no longer there, he learned the key card controlled back door was broken open and had been for years. His threats went silent as his plans came together, a deadly sign well recognized by law enforcement. He entered the building easily through that broken door, carrying something called a barracuda. It weighs 10 pounds and is over 3 feet long and a foot wide. No one challenged him. It would lock the door, preventing escape. He also carried a shotgun, a flamethrower attachment, ear protection, a stopwatch, and a purpose. The telephone lines had been combined with the Baltimore Sun's, so the 911 calls didn't even go to Annapolis. Baltimore City emergency responders didn't know where the call was even coming from. Despite this intentional disregard for safety, I almost couldn't find a lawyer to take my case. I was up against a real estate magnate who was one of the largest owners of business rental property in Maryland. I was up against a billionaire hedge fund in Chicago. They spent millions of dollars defending themselves, and I didn't have $1 million. I had to find a lawyer who would take the case on contingency, willing to risk $1 million of his own. The lawyers knew about the cap on non-economic damages in Maryland, and they wouldn't do it. And the defendants knew this too. It was cheaper to let people die. In conclusion, this cap changes the risk-benefit analysis that's needed to prevent this from happening again. As long as there's a cap, it will be cheaper to let people die than to hire a guard for a building or to fix a broken door or even to keep landlines working. It's cheaper to let people die than to keep us safe at work or anywhere else. I urge your support on HB 862. Thank you.